Today I'm going to talk to you about essays or any sort of writing you're doing that is argumentative or persuasive. This is kind of a checklist that you can go down to make sure that you have everything in there that you need. So why would I even bother to double check my essay? I mean, I wrote it. It's probably good the first time, right? I don't need to worry about double checking. What's that all about? Well, you double check to make sure you sound smarter. You look for those silly mistakes like typos or a spot where you left out a word. I do that all the time when I'm typing. My brain runs really fast ahead of where I'm typing, and I leave words out. And just make sure you have a fully developed essay. Okay. Make sure you're backing up everything you're trying to say with evidence so that you sound so smart when you write your essay. You want to make sure that you have everything in there that you want to put in that essay to prove your point. And most importantly, you double check your essay to make sure that you can be awesome. Now, the first thing you're going to look at is your introduction. You want to make sure, does your essay have a spicy intro, something that's going to hook the reader in? You can watch the spicy intro video if you need ideas on how to hook the reader in. Does that spicy intro, though, does that fit in with your claim and your essay? Don't just put a spicy intro in there to hook the reader in, and then they look at your essay and go, oh, well, what? This is one I signed up for. This is one I was looking for. And then make sure, so you've got your spicy intro at the beginning of the paragraph. Make sure the end of your paragraph has that claim, though. Okay, you got to bring it back into what you're trying to prove. Okay, so if you're writing about is chaos a bad thing, you could have a really great spicy introduction, and then the last sentence would be chaos is a bad thing, or people should be themselves. That would be a great claim because that's what the rest of the essay is about. So you bring your spicy intro in, hook the reader in, and then that last sentence is bam, this is what we're going to talk about. And then when you read the introduction, think about, would I want to read this essay? If I read this introduction, would that hook me in and make me want to actually sit down and read the rest of it? It's a good gauge. Next up, you've got your body paragraphs. Remember, you've got your introduction, and then you should have 3 body paragraphs at least. Okay? 3 different reasons you're trying to argue. Look at those. Are there at least 5 sentences, 5 to 7 sentences? I know that's long, but you need to back up what you're trying to say. So each body paragraph should be at least 5 to 7 sentences long. That will give you enough space to say everything you want to say. Also, do you have evidence supporting your reasons? Do you have something to back it up? Don't just say, because I said so, or I thought about it in my brain. Use evidence from other sources to help back up what you're trying to say. Also, do your paragraphs transition well? When you go from one body paragraph to the next, is it a really choppy spot, or do you transition? For example, if you say first of all, that lets me know we're talking about something. But if the next paragraph says second of all, that lets me know, oh, we're done talking about that last topic. We're moving on to our next reason. And then at the end, you could say finally or in conclusion. Okay, that all lets me know that we're going from spot to spot. And as you can see, my writing with the mouse is not very good. And then finally, do you have one claim or reason you're focusing on in each paragraph? And is each claim different? Don't try to cram a bunch of claims or a bunch of reasons all in one paragraph. And also make sure your reasons are different. Sometimes you have 2 reasons that are very similar. That's not very helpful for your essay. You need 3 different reasons to help back up your overall claim. Now, this one's been tricky. The nod to the other side. That's where you look at, why is the other side of the argument, why are they wrong? You acknowledge that, yes, there is another team out there arguing against me. Okay, somewhere out there in the world, there's someone who disagrees with me. This is what they're trying to say, and this is why they're wrong. Because you don't even give them a chance to argue. What you do is you say, you know what, this is what they're probably going to say, but they're wrong, and this is why they're wrong. If you look down at the bottom here, This is a great format you can use. You can come up with your own format, but I like this one because it's concise and to the point and gives you structure. So you might say something like, some people think blank. So what does the other side think? Because, and then explain why they think it. Right here. And then, however, and then explain why they're wrong. So some people think right here, because, explain why they think that. And then finally, however, this is why they're wrong. And that will help completely knock out the other side before they even get a chance. And then finally, that conclusion, that thing that you wrap it up at the end. Do you restate your claim in your conclusion? Okay, you need to tie it all the way back into what you said at the beginning you were going to talk about. So if you were talking about chaos is a bad thing, your claim should come up in that conclusion. These are some ways that prove that chaos is a bad thing. Or these are some reasons why you should be yourself. Now, if you want to go a step further, a little bit more advanced conclusion, you could have something called a call to action. So do you have a call to action at the end? If you want more information on a call to action, you can watch the call to action video. Just to do that little bit more advanced conclusion that's really going to rock anyone who's trying to read this. They're going to be like, what? This person is brilliant. This student is a genius, and they are the best arguer in the history of arguers and the history of the world, just in general. And I know you guys are going to do that because you guys are awesome. So finally, that last little piece. This is where you do all the little details. Okay? You look at the spelling and the grammar. Okay? Are there any red lines? If you're typing this, red lines mean there's a spelling error. So go and fix that. It's silly to leave any red line in there unless it's something that you know is correct. For example, my wife's first name is Jenica. Okay, Jenica. If you type it into the computer, it's not a common name, and so it doesn't show up. So it's always red, but I know it's spelled correctly. So sometimes with names or names of places, sometimes it's still correct, but you need to double check anytime there's a red line. Are there any silly misspelled words in there? I type so fast that sometimes, not to brag because there's tons of people faster than me, but I type really quickly and I don't think about what I'm typing, and a lot of times I have typos in there. So double check and make sure that there's nothing silly in there. Are there any places that sound clunky? You read it and you're like, huh? If you get stuck while you're reading it, that's a problem, and you need to fix that spot. Last two little pieces. Is each paragraph indented? Okay, that's important. And then finally, do you have a capital letter at the beginning of each sentence, period at the end, or some sort of punctuation mark at the end? Check all of that over. That's your last little check to make sure it's perfect essay. Finally, is this essay your best work? If it is your absolute best work, you could not write a better essay if you tried. Then that's it. You're done for now. Now, I'm not going to say that it's perfect because no essay is perfect. There's always things you could do to improve it. But for right now, you're done. You've done everything you possibly could with this essay, and it is awesome, and you are awesome for going through the steps to try to do that. Okay? So, if you need to work on an essay, double check all of those things and make sure it is awesome and perfect, and you are awesome. Keep it up. Catch you later.